Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Today is September 7th, 2021, and the news are brought to you by, actually not by Canon, sorry for that guys, Analogue Spotlight, a group of photographic retailers and manufacturers who have joined together to support analog photographic media and help keep analog photography thriving worldwide. The brands are Cameradactyl, Kosmo Foto, Chroma cameras, Reveni Labs, RealitySoSubtle, Intrepid cameras, Pixl-ltr, Brooklyn film cameras, ONDU cameras, standard cameras, 20th century cameras, Pictoriographica, Analogue Wonderland, Cinestill, large format camera store, Carmencita film lab, and we have a new player, RH Designs. If you don't know who they are, they make photographic equipment mostly for the darkroom. They make an f-stop timer, an analyzer, and so on. I am a user of the f-stop timer that I've been, enjoying for maybe 10 years already. And I absolutely highly recommend their timers. It's helped me a lot. You can do the f-stop timer stuff in the darkroom, which is really interesting instead of the usual linear second exposure timers that you get in the darkroom. I like the f-stop a lot more. But there's more stuff coming from them. We're working on some extra special benefits for the viewers, but I can't say anything yet as we're still working out the details. So thank you for all the sponsors. It's amazing to have so many brands support the news and what I do here on YouTube. And thank you for all the people watching this, which actually make it important too. So for that reason, thank you for Patreons and so on. I'm very, very grateful. We have Reveni Spotlight update. Looks like Matt has updated his Kickstarter. After last week I mentioned there were some things that he was sending. But the biggest news, I think, is Matt has moved into a new facility that is really big and will help him grow Reveni Labs. I'm very excited for this. Honestly, seeing small startups like Reveni Labs become real companies and new products, new facilities and so on is very exciting. So you can go check it out on his Kickstarter page. But yes, congratulations, Matt, for that. And hopefully, spot meters and other things will be coming from Reveni Labs. Then, the biggest news that I forgot to mention last week, my bad, Brian from Patreon mentioned it in our Discord, and I totally forgot about it, even though I had the page open, is the new Polaroid Now Plus. So I love the headline. I think Petapixel had a headline, which was the Polaroid camera that you will need a phone to use. And this is basically what it means. It's a new Polaroid camera with added benefits or functions throughout a phone. So you can use the camera without a phone, but it's very limited. It just does normal exposures. And I think you can do double exposures if you click the plus twice. But you can also use a phone with an app and by Polaroid, which will open things like manual exposure, wider aperture. I think f11 is the wider aperture. And do remember this medium format size film, Polaroid Now. So even though it is f11, you still will have some separation on your image. The usual exposure is around f32, I think. And yeah, there's more things in the app, so you can check it out. It's interesting. It's out now for around $150 US, and yeah, it's kind of cool. They've also added 5 different lens filters with the Now Plus: orange, yellow, blue, starburst, and red vignette. The filters just slide over the front of the lens and are each easy attachment, but it doesn't appear that filters can be combined, so you can't do extra stuff, even though who said you can't use a couple gaffer tape, strips of gaffer tape and stack them all there, even though they might vignette. But that's the whole point. If you are doing artistic stuff, maybe that's what you're looking for. Then we have an update that I also forgot to mention last week, Lomo Graflok. So Lomo Graflok seems to have bumped into the pandemic we have all around the world and is having delays in some of the shipments. But there's a whole list of stuff on their email listing they sent. I don't know if it's on their Kickstarter, I haven't checked, but I'll leave the link below just in case. For USA and Canada, there's 500 units that are currently on the way. Europe, 300 units. Japan, pre-orders will be fulfilled in the last week of September, so in a couple weeks. And Hong Kong pre-orders will be fulfilled in mid-September, and China pre-orders will be fulfilled last week of September and the first week of October. So it's coming, just wait a little bit more. If you don't know what the Graflock, Lomo Graflok is, it's a Lomography Graflock back, so for large format cameras that use Graflock system to shoot Instax wide film and actually develop it. So for those people missing FP100C and they'll, peel apart film, this can be sort of a Instax instant fix for you. Then, an interesting news that I haven't seen any noise anywhere, thanks to Patreons from my Spanish channel for mentioning this. New Cinestill film. It's limited, and it's called the Cinestill Redrum. And this seems like a quiet announcement for one reason. Cinestill, if I'm not mistaken, launched a collaboration with a new company that would help them remanufacture, finishing the film or converting the film, which is I think what the industry calls. When demand was increasing, Cinestill films being sold out pretty much everywhere for the longest time I can remember. It's not that it's sold out, it's just every time they make it, it sells out. So they started with a new company, and this company seems that they made a mistake and did a bunch of film spooled the wrong way around, making it effectively red scale. This was something I put on the news, I think maybe 6 to 8 months ago, and it looks like, and this is my assumption, nobody's confirmed this, that they've launched it as a product. So, when they give you lemons, you make lemonade. Well, they've done that. They've grabbed the red scale Cinestill film and they've launched it as this Cinestill Redrum. It's a limited quantity edition. It's an ISO 200. Remember, you're shooting through, the base of your film, so you need to give it an extra couple exposure or stops of exposure. So ISO 200 instead of 800. And yeah, it's limited, it's Cinestill, and it seems to be a repurposed film. I'm very happy they did this. Honestly, some people could criticize that they've used, a faulty item and sold it, but honestly, I'm happy to see film not going in the trash, no more waste, but actually being sold to the people that might be interested in something like Cinestill Red Scale. So yeah, it's around 14 to 15 euros. So far, I've only seen it in Foto Impex, which is their partner in Europe. So just so you know, that's there. And if you want to shoot it, you can do that, but it's limited. Then we have Midtones Beta testing and new hint product. So Midtones, as you know, is a processor. He's been working out of, I think it's New Zealand or Australia. I always get it wrong. And he's finally sent some beta units, and they've been focusing on issues and troubleshooting, which is what you do, beta units. And it looks like it's looking pretty good. And honestly, I was very impressed with the size of the machine. It's very, very tiny, but it's good that it's automatic and it can do programming and so on for developing. And it has hinted a new product, which seems to be a film scanner. We don't know if it's a drum scanner, a flatbed scanner, a DSLR scanner, a mirrorless scanner, or anything like that. The only thing we have is a hint of a new product made by Midtones. But first, he's of course going to launch Midtones machine as the processor machine, which I've heard is not going to no longer be a Kickstarter. So we'll keep our eyes peeled on what's going on with Midtones. The processor world is getting exciting. Then we have the Zeiss ZM lens lineup price increase. Starting October 1st, there's around $100 per lens price increase. So if you're Leica, it's Leica mount, but Zeiss ZM user, or you want to buy some lenses, I would buy them now. I'm not leaving any link that's affiliate or anything like that, but if you do use any of the links below, I think I have some Amazon links or something like that, that would help the channel, but do whatever you feel like. Then we have Pinsta, and I've mentioned this before, and someone commented, hey, why don't you ever talk about Pinsta? Well, Pinsta is a project that still hasn't really launched, so I guess I talk about lots of things that don't launch. But yeah, Pinsta is a pinhole camera slash enlarger slash developing tank. It's kind of strange. It's a pinhole camera made of acrylic that will not only shoot pinholes, but also be able to develop the paper inside the back of the camera. It has like some syringe holes that you put some syringe and you can develop your chemistry or your paper and extract the chemistry and so on. But also has a middle tray where you can put a negative and you can use it to enlarge. Yes, through a pinhole as a light source, and you enlarge and it projects the image onto paper. It's not exactly the most perfect way to enlarge, but is an artistic form and maybe people like it. It's supposed to be a Kickstarter. It's been around for a while. That's why I haven't mentioned it for a while, because it seems like they're going to start but never start. But it should be a Kickstarter soon. Hopefully, I'll keep you guys updated. Then we have DeVere Electronic grain enlarging focuser. This is something I stumbled upon Facebook. It's from somebody that I know in mainland China, if I'm not wrong, that has published a video of a device that sits on a table and he moves around, and then there's like a tablet or screen where you can see the grain enlarged. So it's like an electronic eye or a sensor that will see the grain of your enlarger and help you focus. This is amazing for people with need of assistance for their eyesight, because focusing on grain can be quite complicated sometimes, especially in color film. And it's basically all electronics. So you put this thing on the table, you move your enlarger, and when you see on the screen that the grain is sharp, you're good to go. This is from DeVere. DeVere seems to be split in two. There's like a Chinese version and a UK version. Not sure they're the same or they're different, but this seems to be the Chinese version. I'll leave the link to the guy that can help you buy it. I have no prices, I have no availability, nothing like that. But if you guys have any info, let me know. Talking about information that's missing. Last week I talked about a DIY 8x10 made by Ethan Brossard. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry, Ethan. And the lack of links. So I talked to Ethan, he sent me links to the large format forum. There's a whole thread about it, and also a Facebook group that is open for anybody to join if that is something you would like to do. But Ethan's very openly helpful through Instagram or anything if you want to ask about the 8x10 enlarger. And also news that people have helped me. Someone sent me information about the Leica Las Vegas store. It seems to officially be closed, and they're sending people off to LA or some other city that's close to Las Vegas as options for Leica stores. So it seems that maybe it wasn't doable or something happened and they closed the store. Sad to see Leica store closed, but things like that happen. So yeah, thanks for everybody that chipped in for the news. Also, thank you for everybody saying happy birthday to Roman. Last week, I'm sorry, I kind of rushed through the news to go out to a party. I made it to the party, had a great time. I hope I fulfilled all the extra little bits of information I missed last week. And yeah, thanks for everybody for watching. Remember, you can send an email to the email below. And thanks to all the sponsors of the news for keeping this open to everybody. See you next week. Bye.